Well, good afternoon. We're back on the air after taking a short pause away. This is Jailhouse Religion, and I'm back in the studios right now with Bishop Thomas, and we are back to bring you some hot topics and keeping you in the news with us. So, the topic today is going to be called why should we vote? And we're countdown for 9 days away from voting. And why should we vote? That's a good topic for the day. And I'm so glad I'm back on the air. I miss being on, and I'm gonna welcome back Bishop Thomas back to the studio right now. Bishop, how you been doing?
Blessed and highly favored in the Lord.
Oh yes, we've been doing a lot of good things.
God is good all the time, for real. That's not a ritual saying, but it's the truth. It's the actual factual truth. I've been working in the vineyard. People been getting put out, and we've been going and laboring, ministering in the physical, because I believe that ministering is outside the pulpit. I believe the pulpit is for preaching and teaching, for giving out instructions and assignments, fellowshipping. We should call it fellowship hall, the house of prayer, as Jesus said. It's not a den of thieves, but it should be called the house of prayer. So we go out and ministry by, helping folks move and stuff and not charging them anything, or going around trying to help folks eat, trying to get folks in off the streets, and right now trying to get folks out to vote, trying to motivate folks to go out and vote. Make no difference who they vote for, whosoever that God put on their heart. But that's the task. It's been a major task.
So, Bishop, let me just get some clarity on this. Is it up to us as the people of the world to make sure that the children of God is candidates? I hear a lot of pastors talking about don't put what we would say religious and politics together. So, in your congregation, do you encourage the young people and the people to vote, or how do you discuss political things in the temple?
Yes, we do, because I'm reminded that when Jesus was asked a question about paying tax, about the paying tax, when taxation came out, when the government was putting Caesar, the government, when it was putting taxation on the people, and they came to Jesus, and Jesus said in St. Mark, St. Mark, the 11th chapter, verses 17, Jesus said it like this: and Jesus answered, saying unto them, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God. And they marveled at him. So, in that scenario, we can tie that into today. What's going on today in Caesar's house, the White House. The White House today would be Caesar's palace, the government. And the government say that you have a right to vote. Right. You being a human being in America, this government say that you have a right to vote. So it's at a certain time, and the time is up in 9 days, that you have a right to go out and vote for whoever you feel like would run the country at best. Where you pay your tax to when you work. The tax is already taken out of your money and paid to the government. And the man that's running the government right now is Barack Obama, is head of the administration that's over the government. So he's in Caesar's position.
Right. But I've been hearing, and I'm just be straight. I'm voting for Obama. I'm Democrat, and that's it. I put it on the air. That's who I'm voting for. But then a lot of people think that he's been in office 4 years, and things should change in 4 years. That's not necessarily so, because I know when President Bush was in the office, a lot of things had took a turn and everything was going on a down low when he got out of office. So all that was dumped on President Obama to get it straight. So it's just like a person got a habit. You don't get rid of a habit in 30 days. If you had a habit for 4 or 5 years, it's going to take some time to get things back on the right track. When you say that with the White House?
Well, I'm glad you asked the question and you gave your opinion and you told who you was going to vote for because you got a right to vote for whoever you want to vote for.
Yes.
I'm saying that I'm an ex-offender. I don't have a right to vote. The Republicans have made it to where an ex-offender can't vote. So my rights has been taken away from me in a slick way. Although I broke the law and everybody's sin and break the law in some shape, form, or fashion. A lot of folk don't get caught, but a lot of folk get caught just like the president, George W. Bush. He got caught in the area with sending them to war when they said that the man was over there killing his own people and had weapons of mass destruction. And when they sent him over there, they came back and reported to him that the man didn't have weapons of mass destruction and they couldn't find no bones of him killing his own people. But due to the father, George W. Bush Sr., had got into it with Saddam Hussein, so the son seen it out. That was breaking the law. He shouldn't be able to vote neither. But I'm pretty sure he's casting his vote. He ain't been convicted for breaking the law. He admitted to it that he had received information that it wasn't true. So everybody's sin and break the law. So I'm not crying. I'm not happy about it. Really, I'm upset about it that my rights has been taken away when I done paid my time for my crime. But when we come down to it, the issue at hand is, if you can go vote, why would you not go vote?
Well, that's a good one. You got a lot of people out here now that feel like they vote is not gonna count. Why should I vote? It's not helping me. It's not better me. A lot of people have that mentality about why should I vote? And why would you stress the fact for some of those that is on disability, and we have a lot of people that's on welfare that feel like they don't have to vote because I'm already in the system. I'm getting a check. I'm getting food stamp, so it's not gonna get no better for me. So why should I vote? I hear that.
If individual, those people that think like that why should they go vote? Because they in the system, they getting the checks, food stamps, and this type of stuff. What they're thinking about, they can't enhance themselves. But what they're not thinking about, that if the wrong person get in the position, that person is gonna cut them food stamps off. That person is gonna cut that check off, or that person is gonna put tasks on them to where they gonna have to come and draw blood. In order to get on, you're gonna have to draw blood. You're gonna have to have an education. You got some of them folks that's bipolar, some of them folks that have learning disorders and can't learn and stuff. They're gonna be cut off. They're gonna fix it to where they can be cut off because they got polls, they got surveys on where they at and what condition they in mental and education and sickness and disease. They're gonna afflict them. They're gonna be just like in the Old Testament. Caesar's gonna put it on them to where they have to make bricks and go get their own straw instead of having the straw brought to them. You're gonna wipe them out. The streets of the homeless, there's gonna be so many people in the streets. It's gonna be so much problem. They're gonna get wiped away with. It's gonna be like Hurricane Alicia blowing through if they don't get up and go vote. Just like John Kerry when he ran against George W. Bush. Well, in the end, when it was all totaled up, it showed that George W. Bush won probably about 400 and some votes. That's because 400 or 500 people didn't go vote for John Kerry, and George W. Bush won and George W. Bush taxes to play. He did so much and he put us in the red into a depression because you didn't go vote because you was in a mindset, my vote don't count. But you at home and you talking about Bush ain't this and Romney, Governor Romney ain't that. And if you're not going to vote and you can't vote, you don't have a right to speak out at anything.
I think the 47% that he was speaking of, the economy, is the 47% is the welfare recipients, the food stamp people, and he said the health care. That means the majority is minority of women that we seen on BET tonight. They say this is the majority, the 47% that he feel like is in poverty, that they're looking for a hand-me-out. 47% of people, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but he was saying 40% of the people is looking for assistance from the government.
Well, when we look at that, that's the way it's looked at what he's saying. But the issue is that when you had a job and you worked it, and they took out this money out your check, now when your job pink slip you, and you can't get no job, and you run out of getting the checks for not working.
Your unemployment.
The unemployment check. Well, money was took out of your money for them 10, 15, 20 years you were working for if you become in that state that you can receive government assistance because you make up the government when you work. The government take money out your money for if you should get in a downslide, that it should provide for you until you can get back on your feet. They're not giving you anything. If you have worked, you have put into the government for in case when you get out of work, the government can help you. And we need to look at that. These are the things you need to look at. But one of the biggest things that need to be looked at is that at one time, a minority, a people of color, was a slave, was brought into this country, built this country, and they was not seen as a whole human being. They were seen something like 3/4 of a human being, and they didn't have no rights. They didn't have no rights to learn how to read and write. If they would have let them learn how to read and write, if they had made laws where they couldn't do that, maybe their letters would have touched the hearts of some other slave master or some other person in Congress, or and slavery would have been abolished way before its time. But by them not letting them have a voice, by them not letting them read and write, slavery went on and on and on for 400 years. But now that we have a voice, people done died and sweat and tears, as you seeing on the news and on these shows that they're showing. If you sit back and you got the right to go vote and you don't go vote, slavery should come up on you. You should be a slave again. That's a slave mentality, and you should be on somebody's plantation picking peas and picking corn and cotton all over again, because if you let these people shut your mouth, they will bring that thing right back up on you. Boy, I got a lot of respect for the Jews when they show the Holocaust. And they show the Holocaust twice a year. Because they was asked, why do y'all keep showing this? You know, y'all been compensated for slaves. African Americans have never been compensated, but the people, the Jews in the Holocaust, they've been compensated. And a whole lot of other folks been compensated. But they say, did we show this to our kids and to ourselves to what we saying that it'll never happen to us again? We're voicing it. We speaking out. It's just like voting. We speaking out saying that it'll never happen to us again. If you sit home and you don't vote, you saying you don't care if it happened to you or your kids. If they be put back to you, saying you don't care what happened to your great-great-grandmother, what happened to your great-great-grandfather. Because you're letting them enslave you by shutting your mouth, by saying, Negro, shut your mouth. You better not come to the polls. You ain't coming no way. You know, stay home and smoke your weed and stuff. We gonna keep on putting your dope, smoke your cocaine. shoot your dope. We got liquor for, we done made it wet over there for you. They been by, go get you a beer and sit down and stay out the way. You know, stay out of my world. This ain't none of your world. You ain't running nothing. You ain't never gonna run nothing. I'm so glad. I'm so thankful to God that Barack Obama, he ran for president. He didn't think like the negative minded human being that's controlled by Satan and other folks. Homegirl, Satan is in people so tough that her homegirl saying, child, I ain't going down there standing that long line because our votes don't count. No, that ain't nothing but the devil telling you a lie.
That's true. That's true. That's why I think they opened up the polls for early voting starting on, I think it was October 22nd. Anyway, they opened up for early voting, and they gave people the opportunity to get off work, don't have to stand in line, they can go to the polls. Early voting is until the 2nd of November. And the early voting continue to run. Matter of fact, I put it off last week, but I'm going to vote in the morning. I'm going to go to the City Hall up here in Richardson and vote. And I encourage everyone, especially our young people. I was so amazed when we watched BET tonight to see most of people talk about the rappers and the music, but they are standing behind and pushing voting. They have really came behind the young generation, the college kids, and they pushing them to vote. We got more young black kids voting now than we do the older people. Yeah, I really believe that. What you think?
I'm in agreement with you.
Okay.
I'm saying this to make it clear that the majority of people say that they don't have a way. But you let a concert come, you let a Frankie Beverly and Mays show up in Houston, and we live in Dallas. We live in Dallas County. But you let a Frankie Beverly show up in Houston. Some of them same people saying they don't have a way to the polls right around the corner, 6-7 blocks over, or be in Houston at the concert. They would have bought a ticket for $30 or $40, and they would have bought gas or caught a bus to go down and come back to have some fun, for some entertainment. But they won't exercise their rights. That is a slave.
Well, Bishop, now I understand that. I understand what you're saying. But maybe we could say give them an opportunity. You know how you rent those party buses, and you know we rent a bus when we go ministry sometime. So if that's the case, why don't we get an apostle that drive for a limousine service to get the party bus on voting day and see how many people, how many trips we can make to the poll for those that need a ride. Now, I know some of the senior citizen building where Mother Ruby is, they like to go to the polls. When we elected Obama, we worked the polls quite frequently, taking people early voting and during the day. We worked all day long getting people to the poll. So I'm thinking if you provide and put it out there, if you need a ride to the polls, because I know Bishop T.D. Jake, they had buses going to the polls from his ministry for some of the people that wanted to ride and go to the polls. So that's one thing. But you know what I want to tap in on with you? I know right now we're not going to be able to do it, but in the future, what do you and your team, the ex-offenders, have planned to help get voting reinstated for some of the offenders?
Well, we're going to go down to Austin in the near future. We're going to go down to our councilmen down there in Austin, the people that we put in office, that those that go and vote, put in office, and we're going to challenge them to be our voice, to let it be made known that we human beings and we broke the law and we paid for our crime, and we are working human beings. We have businesses.
You pay taxes.
We pay taxes. We have ministries. We're doing things in the community that they not doing, that average one of them are not doing. And why would we be held back if we pay tax and we work in the community? Why we can't go vote?
That's true. You're a taxpaying citizen. You file income tax every year. They take tax out of your check. You're taxable wherever you go. You pay taxes, and I feel like if a person done went and did their time, this is what the court handed you to do. Once you did that time and you came out of doing your time, everything should be restored back to you the way it was before you went to do time. Is that the way it goes?
But just like I said, the system is Caesar. He said, give render to Caesar what Caesar, and render to God was God. God will pardon you, but Caesar won't. It's very rare that Caesar will pardon somebody when he's going out of office. But I look at it like this. If we can't vote and we pay tax as a citizen, but we can't vote as a citizen, we should not have to pay tax.
Yeah, you should be like this Oklahoma. They tax free. The Indians don't pay taxes. Oklahoma, there's no tax.
So
any reservation.
If they don't want us to vote, they ought not want us to pay tax neither. So if you got us paying tax and you won't let us vote, you still have us in prison. You still have us in slavery. There's something wrong with that picture. But guess what? The same thing that's wrong with that picture is the same thing wrong with the picture today. You know, our ministry, the West Side Tribe, is on Kilgore in the West Dallas area, which is called the ghetto. The people mostly stay up all night long and sleep all day. That's what's hurting the voting rate. Laziness.
Yes.
Unconcern. You know, the broken, downtrodden, the broken-hearted, the folk that's done gave up. They don't care, but they having children that one day it's been shown that their children can be somebody. Since they don't want to be they're bad examples. If you don't get up and vote, go out and vote, you setting a bad example for your children and your grandchildren for them not to go vote.
That's right.
For anybody can be put in the office. Any slave master can be put up over them and put them deeper in bondage. Make restrictions that they can never reach the level of being successful and rich and living and having big homes and mansions and fancy cars. So you're saying that I don't care if my grandson, my granddaughter prostitute herself, my grandson sell dope, because if you don't vote, they're going to make more restrictions to where they can't get the job. So they want houses and they want cars and they're going to sell dope and they're going to destroy each other and she going to sell her body and her head. They're going to do these things. Yeah, I know we talking on there, but we talking this real talk.
Yes.
Yeah, this speaker talk, this real talk. I talk the same way in the temple. Yeah. Language that you can understand. If you don't do something, anything is going to happen. And you ain't got nothing to say about it. I told you so. You got the haters just sitting back. Satan done stagnated you, done shut your mouth, them Jezebel, to where you sitting back and saying, he ain't going to win. He ain't going to win. Yeah, if it's based on your vote, he ain't going to win. I wish I could go vote. Go vote for me. Go in my place and vote for me. I wish I could pay you.
Just tell them, say, just give me your card and let me go vote in your name and say, since you don't want to go.
And you know the Republican, the maids, you know they watching me. You know they making sure I don't come up. They know that I was going to vote. So they fixed it to where I never could go vote. But I'm saying you can go vote. I'm saying go vote for people like me. For people that done been into the army, that done went to prison, and they can't vote. Go vote for them. Show that you care about the veteran that done fought the country, that done came back with PSP or whatever they done diagnosed them with, bipolar or whatever they done did, and they can't go vote. Go vote in their place. Vote for them. Which way you think they would vote? For you can help them, since you don't go give no time, you don't go tithe your time to them, and you don't put no money in no basket when they says help your fellow veteran. Won't you go vote and help him?
Well, you know what? That tie into your message this morning. It said, if Satan can keep talking to you about what happened in the past instead of what you're going into the future with, if he can keep your mind set on where you were and not where you going, then he can stop you from going forward and voting and going forward, because the votes will count. Our votes count. Because the other day I was looking, and I think it was like 47. I think Obama was leading about maybe what, I think it was 48 to 43. He had like a 5 or 6 head lead. And I looked at that. I said, you know what? That could have been my one vote that brought it up a little higher. So we got to think, if it's 10 of us together, that's 10 more points for him. That's 10 more votes that can help him reach the goal on where he's trying to go. And that's why I'm saying, I think it's so important that we don't look at what happened in the past. We got to look at the future.
I was looking at the news, then a talk show, and a Caucasian was on the news, and I'm not prejudiced. I'm just calling it the nationality, what it was. I'm not calling no name. But he said, they ain't gonna vote. He said, they ain't gonna come out and vote this time. Mm-hmm. So he's saying he's lording over you that have a right to vote. Mm-hmm. He said, in essence, you better not come out here and vote. You slave. You better stay at your house. You ain't got no business coming down here, boy. Girl, you better get away from here. He's saying that you ain't no grown man. He said that you ain't no grown woman. You don't make your own decisions. He said you do what he say. Instead of wait, you saying you ain't scared of Caucasians to go on, and you somebody. If you somebody, go make it be known that you somebody. Go stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. People done died standing for you, and you won't step up and take the mic. You'll rap. You'll get up and sing a song. You'll go to church. You'll tell your testimony. You'll cry about this and cry about that, but you won't exercise your right. Who are you?
Yes, that's good. Well, all we want to say, please go and vote. Why should you vote? Why shouldn't you vote? Ask yourself that. If you want to say, well, why should I? Ask yourself, why shouldn't I vote? Because it counts. It makes a difference. And so until next time, we're going to be back. We're back on the air for the holidays. We're back in. And if you want to just send us a message, you can Facebook us on Real Talk, coming straight from Jailhouse Religion. And we'll catch you on the next time. We'll be back on the air on Thursday afternoon. So until then, Bishop, I'm really glad to have us back on the air and you back in the studio with me. And we really talking on some good issues right now. Voting. We got to vote for a lot of things. A lot of things need to be voted for. Reinstating ex-offenders to vote. That's a vote right there. We got to get petitions signed on those. It's a lot of things that we need to get done. So send us a message to our Facebook. We look to hear from you all. And we thank you for joining in. And I hope you like our topic today. Bishop,
in closing remarks, I like to say that we love you all and we hope you love yourself. We saying that now's the time in these last days that we living in is to make a stand. And if you stand, somebody will stand with you. If you weak at the knees, if you let somebody else know, want your partnership and let somebody come and hold you up like they held Moses. If we stand up and hold each other up, we win. Jesus came to set the captives free. It's liberty in Christ. You got freedom. He done made it now to where the doors is open. Don't let the doors close on you. I know this is not a sweet peaches and cream message on this stuff. Well, we're talking real talk on Speaker Talk. I'm saying that we're giving it straight from the hip. You understand? This is the same way we do it in the ministry, the same way we do it on the Speaker Talk. Some people can't handle it. You can't handle the truth. Won't you stop asking for the truth? Won't you even stop getting on speaker if you can't handle the truth? Because we're going to blow the truth at you every day. We love you, and God bless you all and your whole household. Rejoice and be prosperous. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.